Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations, and thank you for joining me on, well, for a lot of people out there, what is a Sunday, afternoon, evening, and over here is a Monday morning. It's a public holiday here where I am in New South Wales. Labor Day or something? I'm not sure, I didn't check. Yeah, so I've got the day off, so I'm doing a live stream, like second live stream in 3 days, so how about that? Hello to Thomas Armstrong, hello Foxhound477, hello Enzo Fitzhume, hello Colin from This Does Not Compute, hello Point 5, hello Will from KMac Vintage, hello Roger Salter, hello Jay from the House of Moth, Joe Williams. I think that's everyone. I get everyone? Yeah. Alright. Now, I did a live stream 2 days ago. If anyone was watching that, thank you, of course, first of all. And I ended up having, I did some work on the TWEEZERS. I think I recapped the TWEEZERS. Got that to chime. Joy, oh joy. I then took that up to the case and went to go start it up, and it did not work. And I was like, okay, well, I know the computer fires up when I bypass the startup circuit, so it's one of two things. One is it's the power supply. Number two is it's the startup circuit. And of course, the startup circuit is always the much likelier one. Retro Techie, hello SadMac356. Will, I do want to speak to you about those sims you were talking about there, so I will come back to that. I'll come back around to that when I finish telling this little anecdote. So I had the TWEEZERS, and I had a power supply there, and I'm like, I don't even know if this power supply works. So let's just rule that out first. So I got my Mac 2 out and tested the power supply and it worked fine. So I actually tested a bunch of power supplies. I now have so many bloody power supplies for 2X, 2FX range. It is just ridiculous. I've got one that I haven't had the guts to test yet, though, because it's got so much rust on it. I've got this sneaky suspicion it might just blow up. So anyhow, I established that the power supply was working, so the problem had to be in the startup circuit. So then I grabbed my little 2FX and I started doing a little bit of inspectifying. What was that? And found that there were some broken traces. Surprise, surprise. And there was also some ugliness that I just cleaned up, but So I'm just going to jump to the top view here. So over here, you can see there's our power switch there, and then we've got a little resistor down here, and we had a rotten through trace from this resistor through to the power switch, and then from this resistor through onto the other side of the board. So both sides of this resistor gone traces. And then there was also another one just here where I'm pointing at, just over there. There was a really ugly little via, so I ran a bit of a wire for that one as well. And there was quite a bit of ugliness around here. This is all part of the startup circuit, by the way. These two chips, these two transistors, and these two diodes, they're all part of the startup circuit. So I cleaned them all up, so that was all good, and it all starts now quite well with the power button. So that's a really good thing, and I've been doing a few little tests with it and everything, and I'm very, very pleased. It's all working well. So yeah, the 2FX, I'm very happy about that. I've dropped the display card in and all that, and I've loaded up a Blue SCSI with System 7.1, and I got sort of Internet Explorer on there, and I did a little test and got it onto the interwebs today because I'm using the Blue SCSI that has that capability for the Wi-Fi. Rob T, hello there. Your shed looks much more organised. Well, it sort of is behind me, yeah. It's still chaos in front of me. But yeah, I got shelves. I got these shelves. So I used to have like shelves, but just the bottom half, so there was nothing above it. But I just looked and I thought, I really need way more storage space here. So what I'll do is I'll buy some shelves. I'll still have this level for me to put my ultrasonic cleaners on. And of course, I also have my 3D printer, because you don't really want these resin printers in the house because they stink. So I've got these there, and then above, over here, there are 3 shelves you can't see. And up here, there's a shelf, and I've got a bunch of compact Macs up here. So yeah, that's all good. Now, what did I want to say? So anyhow, I'm all about the 2FX now. So I thought, I've got these RAM sims. I've got these little kit that got sent to me by the incredibly generous Kai Robinson. He sent them to me a while ago. I never put them together because I never really had a reason to put them together because I never had a 2FX. He also sent me these, which I forgot he sent me, and I have to do these. These are, let's just change over to the top view again. Get to my mess. There we go. He actually sent me all this too. These are all parts from a Macintosh SE. Look at, he sent me a couple of 68K CPUs. We've got all of these little chips here. We've got crystals. So I really have to make an SE reloaded board someday. That's not SE30, that's SE. He sent me some RAM slots. On the SE30 compact card, new version we have with smart fan controller based on temp, and the case will drive the fan different speed. That's nice. That is a really smart idea. You're thinking. Yeah, look, I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do with my custom build when I get this done. So I know what I'm going to do in terms of the design of the thing. I know what it's going to look like. I can probably actually start building it at this stage because I know what has to go into it. And I've got the screen for it already. So I bought that. I got that on. And of course, all this information will be in the video that I do about it. Now I got this to Chime yesterday, by the way. This is the, or is it the day before? This is the SE30 that I was working on at the end of my last live stream, and I was faffing around and I kept on getting a sad Mac Chime and stuff, and I was looking, inspecting and all that sort of stuff. Well, I did actually get it to Chime, and I'll tell you how I did that. I flipped over here and I was looking at these little diodes, and I thought to myself, God, there's not much solder holding these on. And then I sort of started poking them, and they seemed like they weren't even making proper contact. So I went in and soldered these properly, and bingo, she started chiming. Now, it's still not right. I still have issues with it. Oh, and I've done the bodge wire here. As those who might have seen Colin's video, if you haven't seen it, where he actually goes and builds one of these, the very first version of the Macintosh SE30 had a bodge on it, a graphics wire bodge on it, and that bodge was not included in the schematics. And when this was built by Boll used those schematics to build this. So he actually built this with the original SE30 fault in it. So he revised that in the version 4, I think, revision 4 of the board. This is revision 3. And so I've had to put in this little bodge wire here that goes from there to there. I'll stick this down properly with some solder mask as well when I get a moment. So anyhow, I managed to get this chiming. Start it up. I can boot it off floppy, but I can't seem to boot it off SCSI, even though I can, when I boot from floppy, I can actually see the SCSI drive and I can mount it and I can open it. I just can't seem to boot from it. And then when I stick a Rominator in there, it gives me a sad Mac error. So it's not right yet. We're getting there, but it's not 100% yet. But it's going well. It's a hell of a lot closer than it was before. And of course, getting it to chime, when I got it to start up on floppy, I mean, I was able to test it. So as I say, I'm reading the SCSI is okay. ADB works. I can use the keyboard. I can use the mouse. Sound works. We're very close to there, but we're still not 100%. So that's that one out of the way for now. I've got the air conditioner on today too, by the way, because it's kind of warm here in Sydney. I'm in Western Sydney. That temperature up there, 23, is not quite right. It's a little bit warmer where I am. Okay, so so these got sent to me by Kai as well. PCB revision 24. Goodness me, took a while getting that right. Now these are 30-pin sims that are designed to be, I think, 4 megabyte. Yep. I've got the chips for these. I think this is very similar to the ones that Kay Koba did. I think these were the kind of original ones, but then Kay made a few changes to them. I assume this one is the same as the other ones. You don't have to put the parity chip on if you don't want to, so I don't think I will. So just put those two on, and then a couple of resistors. I think they're 100 nanofarad or some crap. Okay. Mike's here. Hello there, Mike. Don't put an eMac on the shelf above your head. No, don't. I mean, come on, eMacs. I mean, I have one eMac, and I'm going to hang on to it just because it is a part of history. But they are just a travesty. They've got a beautiful, beautiful, sharp, flat Trinitron screen. I'll give them that. That is magnificent. But by gum, they're heavy. The one I've got's got the little clear plastic swivel stand, and that makes them a little bit more usable. So yeah, I'll hang on to it, but I mean, far out. Okay, so I got these from Kai, so that's nice of him, and I will build those one day. And then I also got these from Kai, and I'm just going to grab them all, and I just want to talk about a couple of things when I actually get these out, if I can find the rest of them. They're under here somewhere. I haven't cleaned here in a while. You may or may not be able to spot that. And as a result, things are getting a little bit chaotic. But I will, I promise I will. Okay, here's that, here they are. Here the rest of them are. So these are the RAM sims. Now, I do have something very disappointing, I have to say. And that is, I will not be able to complete these today. Because I just did a little bit of research on these, and I need a 2.2 microfarad ceramic capacitor above every single one of these chips. And I have none of them. I have zero 2.2 microfarad. I've got a little kit here that comes with a bunch of different size capacitors and that, but the biggest one they go up to is 1 microfarad. So that's gone. Then I went and grabbed my other sort of build projects and stuff like that, and found that I have no 2.2. I've got other sizes, but I don't have 2.2, so I'm going to have to order something, which is a real poop. I really wanted to get these going today, but I can do most of the work. I can do the hard work. Now, I did want to talk about something very, very quickly here, because this is something that I've been finding quite frustrating. I'm just going to grab something here just to demonstrate. Here we go. Is that a good example? That's maybe not a good example. Let's try one of these. These would be a better example. Yeah, this is a better example. So it's very nice of people to be sending. Oh, by the way, I didn't charge my microphone properly between my last stream and this stream, so I'm using the one that has a big spicy pillow battery. So if it conks out partway through the stream, just let me know in the chat, and I'll go and get the other one, which is sitting on the charger. Now, I very quickly want to ask a question. Will, you were talking about making, you're in the process of making 30 pin 16 megabyte sims is the very beginning. I am interested in that. I'm curious to know, like, how many chips you use for that. Have you been able to build them using sort of a more modern, larger chip, like a single chip or 2 chips or something like that? Or are they loaded up with like 8 chips? 2 chips. Oh, that's awesome. And is it something that you'll be selling as a kit, or is it something you'll be selling, sort of ready-made? And is it something that you'll just be releasing the Gerbers and the bill of materials, and people can make up their own? I'm just curious if you just want to let us know the details of that, because it's something I can do either way, but I make most. Okay, cool, no worries. Because as you know, I'm someone who actually likes to build my own crap. I'm like, someone sent me something and it's already built. Where's the fun in that? Jeremy, hello there. They are 16 megabyte blink also. There you go. So you can make them to do the little blinky with the, what do they have, the ATI Tiny or something on the back of them. Something like that, I think. Make them do the blinky blink. Right. So I just want to talk about something here, because I've been getting, I do get people send me stuff, and I have never used JLC PCB, okay? So I've never used them before, so I don't know how their interface works or their specs or anything like that. I've only ever used PCB Way, and I've been very happy with PCB Way, and most of the stuff that I get, which is small stuff like this, they are comparable in price to JLC PCB anyway. It's the big boards, apparently, JLC PCB get cheaper. But I don't know if this is something that people are doing by choice, but it's something that I find quite frustrating. A lot of people have been going and getting these PCBs like this, and they've been coming out like this, with just raw copper pads. Whereas if you have a look at this one here, which I got from PCB Way, you can see all the pads are tinned. Right? Now, I think I know people like the look of the gold, but it's not gold, it's copper, and it corrodes. And in the instance of this one, this is my own fault. I had these all in a bag and one fell out. And so this one was actually exposed to the elements. And this one did end up getting corroded. But had these pads been tinned, it would be fine. It would just need to be cleaned up. But because it had not been tinned and had been just, copper, it all ended up getting corrosion on the copper, which I then had to scrape off, and this one looks really ugly, but it should still work. Steve's here. Hello, Steve. Hello. Hello. So you're saying JLC PCB is better than PCB Way? I get that they're cheaper, but I've found absolutely no evidence that the quality of their product is any better. If anything, I've actually had some issues with stuff from JLC PCB, but that's maybe just my luck. So anyhow, that is just something I wanted to mention, that if when people are getting these sorts of things done, get the pads tinned. It's just so much safer. It's just more likely to withstand the test of time and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to solder all of these pins here, because these PCBs are really thin, and often when you put these in to replace the original RAM, they're just that little bit too thin. You can actually see the difference in width there. They're just that little bit too thin, and then they end up not staying in there properly. So I put little blobs of solder on all these pads, and that makes it so they're a little bit better. So anyhow, we can at least go ahead and put these chips onto this, but we just can't test them because of the capacitor type issue. I don't have the capacitors. I will order those today, though, so that I can get them ASAP. I'll probably order them from Mouser, because I actually need to get a couple of other things as well, so I'll put them all on the same order. And the thing, no, not Mouser, DigiKey. DigiKey is the one I use, and the reason why I like DigiKey is because if I spend $50 or more, I get free delivery, and they generally deliver within 3 days. So, pretty good. Right. Now, I also want to show you this. This will bring a tear to your eye, but have a look at this. So, you might recall yesterday's, or the 2 days ago live stream that I did, if you were here and were present and potentially saw the thumbnail that I did of a very badly battery damaged 2FX board. Well, this is the RAM from that badly damaged 2FX board, and I just want to show it to you because it's quite the thing. So there's one. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit here. What's the maximum? Oh, come on. What are you doing to me? Oh. Why aren't you letting me focus? Oh, crap. Something's happened to my focus ring. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, that's as far as I can focus, so I'll have to zoom out. There we go. All right, so we've got that one. We've got that one. We've got that one. And we got that one. Without a doubt, this one is the worst. This one was obviously the closest to it. But it's not good. When you get the antique type, says this: the copper pads are protected by a coating of nickel, and a layer of gold protects the nickel during storage. Well, yeah, except when it doesn't. Throw them in the ultrasonic. They have been in the ultrasonic for about 30 minutes. So, yeah, these have been in the ultrasonic, and this is the end result. Now, what I can, of course, do, I will just fire up my trusty little Dremel for a bit, and I will just show you what it's like underneath. So I'm just going to fire this up for a bit. Sorry about the noise. Right, well, as you can see, it looks a darn sight better now. Got some actual copper. We can actually see some copper here. Look at that. Isn't that nice? You can also see just how much missing copper there is. And we've got a few legs missing off these. chips here. So that's delicious. I might be able to salvage some of these chips. I mean, I think they're 80 nanosecond. I suspect these are just 1 megabyte sims. I can't imagine them being more. I got extremely lucky in the other one that they were 4 megabyte sims. But yeah, these are really beyond hope. There were another 4 in there. They weren't as bad. They were bad, but they weren't as bad. And I have them here. I've already gone through and cleaned off all of the corrosion, so this is now just raw copper. So I've got to put solder on those. But I am intending to test them out to see if they actually work, because if they do, that's great. A couple more sims. So these are the ones that I've already tinned. You can see those there. If you could, I should have taken photos of before, because it's quite extraordinary when you look at these now compared to how they looked before. Because these pads were just completely and totally corroded. But using that little tool I just used on the Dremel, I cleaned them all off, and then I've tinned these two. So we'll tin these ones next, and then I'm going to have a crack at these. So anyhow, I'm going to switch over to the microscope now. Whoop, and we'll. It's got to come down a touch. There we go. There we go. Maybe the caps there you need are 2.2. Is in the caps on this? There aren't any caps on this one. Are you talking about me rating for the other sims? But no, they're not. There aren't any caps on that one at all. Or these ones. On the damaged sim under the chip should be caps. Oh, there you go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's whip them off. Whip. Cool whip. I hate to think what state they'll be in. Hello, Rudy. It's gone. That one's gone. Hey. Hoi, wai. Yeah, there's one. Let's see what it is. All right. I mean, look, I could go in hunting around donor boards trying to raid every 2.2 microfarad capacitor I can find, but it just seems like so much bloody hard work. That is indeed Family Guy. Cool whip. Right, I'm just going to scrape this a little bit. I'll flip him over. I'll flip you. Flip you for real. Okay. Let's find out what size capacitor this is. Using my Kaiweets HT118E multimeter, which I reviewed recently, and I have been basically very happy with. It's and considering the price it goes for, I've generally been opting to use this one over the KM601 lately, mainly just because of the clicky dial on the front. I quite like using that. This here, oh, there he is. I always have that happen, you know, when I if I'm doing this with a small component, I put the things on and then I look away, and then when I look away, I flip the thing. Okay, it says 0.32 microfarad. 0.3 microfarad. That doesn't sound very right, does it? Piss me off. 0.31 microfarad, 0.32 microfarad. That's where we're sitting. So no. Hello, Mark, 64-bit guy. How are you going? Hello, Paul Piley. Hello. 330 picofarad. That's what I dare say what it is. So, yeah, unfortunately, we will not be rating that for Capacitors. I suppose I could... What about these ones? Hang on. Hang on! $32 megabytes. I've got one of those great big old RAM sims floating around here somewhere. I saw it just yesterday. You know those big 64 megabyte ones from out of the old like Power Mac 7000 series and stuff like that. And they're also in all of the power computing. You know, all of the clones. All the clones had those big old RAM sims, those great big ones. I've got a stack of those. I might get up and grab one later on. We'll just see. I mean, look, I think the chances of me finding the same size are slim, but, you know, it's worth checking. Using donor RAM to transfer to those other PCBs. If so, should use the same caps from the donor. Okay. Well, if that was the case, they were all 100 nanofarad, I think. But anyhow. All right, let's get some solder onto this and see if these are actually going to work. I mean, as you can see, they're still pretty bad. I mean, there's a little bit of gunk there that's picked up in my ultrasonic cleaner. The water's getting a little bit gooey in there. I've got to fix that up. But, yeah, we'll just see what happens. I'm going to get some flux onto here. SteriFlux, links in the description. Steri ASMTF. I'm going to fire up my Fume extractor in a minute because I'm using a lot of flux. What the flux? I actually have a video called that. Very clever little play on words there. So, alright, just going to get a little bit of solder onto these. Oh, I have to turn the iron on. It works so much better when it's on. What the flux is going on here? Nano, not pico. There you go. Pico's the way smaller one, isn't it? It goes farad. Oh, jeez. I just stuck this in plastic. It's going to stink. It goes farad, microfarad, nanofarad, picofarad. I think that's how it goes in terms of sizes. Right, now it's on. It'll work better. So let's get a little bit of globby solder on the end there. A little bit of globby solder on the end there. Then I get my wick. Wickety whack. Just spread it all around. I need to find... I've literally got one spool of wick. I went to go buy some more the other day. They only had one there. So I grabbed it. I hope they restock soon. Because I am running low. Sometimes my wick falls to the ground. Very low. I mean, I was using it just yesterday, so I can't be too far away. Oh, come on. Come on. Wick. It's got to be here. I'm thinking it's probably fallen on the ground. Because when something... it has fallen on the ground. When something goes proper missing, that's where it is. It's on the floor. Milli, micro, nano, pico, atto, femto, zepto. It sounds like people are just making up words now. I'm just going to grab something to hold this a bit still. Because this is such a small board, it's just going to wobble around the place. I mean, it still looks like shit, but you'd be surprised when you look at it not under the microscope. It actually looks quite decent. Just painting solder onto these pads. Yes, sirree, Bob. Looking good. And I will give these about a 50-50 chance of working. There's probably a broken trace on these. I just sort of feel like the odds of there being a broken trace are extremely high. But, you know, whatever. Oh yeah, whatever. Whatevs, man. Just came in, hello Jack 68K, just came in from a long day of yard work. Lots of schlepping rocks around. Well, that's very rewarding, isn't it, doing something like that? I should be doing something like that. My yard is an absolute freaking mess at the moment. But I'm YouTube's bitch at the moment. Oopsie. Okay. Good. Thankfully, I only need to do 2 of these because I already did 2 yesterday. So you won't have to sit and watch me paint pads for the whole live stream. I finished watching Monsters last night, the TV series about the Menendez brothers, of which I knew absolutely nothing about. I have no recollection of that as a news story when it actually happened. I probably did know about it, but obviously here in Australia we wouldn't have likely have got the same level of rolling coverage of the case and stuff like that. Restoration soldering is the best, funnest. Yeah, I mean, I do love restoration work. I love the idea, and this, you know, and this is why I call it, you know, resto work. I'm restoring these old computers, and in some instances I'm making them better than they were, or in some instances I'm sort of future-proofing them so that they will keep going for a while, for a good while longer. I mean, it's so crazy, isn't it? I mean, I fire up this 2FX, you know, you have this great big hulking case on the table, and I fire up the 2FX. It's not getting no chime at the moment because the speaker in the case is fucked. I will need to get a new speaker in there. I don't even know what ohms it is. I'll have to check. Might be one of those 32 ohm ones or something like that. And I do have a spare speaker, but I've also got another computer that doesn't have a speaker. So it's sort of, I have more empty than I have speakers. But I do have these speakers that I buy. Oh yeah. I've got a few of, I think this might even be my last. I probably have to buy some more. But I have these little speakers that I buy. These ones, top view. And these are a little 50 ohm. So it's 63 ohm the speakers are, isn't it? That's the thing that rings a bell, 63 ohms. So what I've found is if you get this 50 ohm, and they generally just work for starters. This is a 16 ohm, but there's I think it's the ones in the Mac Plus are 63 ohm, and for these I use these and I just stick a little bit of a resistor in between there. And it works fine. It's nice and loud. But yeah, I think the ones in the Mac 2 case might be 16 ohm, but I'll have to check. It's the ones in the Mac Classic and the Mac Plus and the Classic Plus, possibly the SEs, I'm not sure, and the original Macintosh 512K. They all have this silly 63 ohm speaker. Yeah, look, I actually missed the beginning of Monsters. What happened was my wife was watching it, and then I started getting interested in it, and I said, can we keep watching that? She's like, oh, do you want to start it from the beginning? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. So I missed the first couple of episodes. I might go back and watch those again. I saw bits of them. I shouldn't say I missed them. I was doing stuff, and she had it going in the background, so I was walking past and hearing things here and there. Yeah. Is the Classic very close to the Color Classic? No. You mean like in the way it's made? The Classic is, the Color Classic is a lot more like the Performers and stuff of the time, you know, and the all-in-ones like the 575 and the 580 and all that. It's very similar. It's smaller, of course, but it's very similar in design to those. And of course, the Color Classic, when it came out, was such a, I mean, you know, at this time, a lot of people in the design fraternity were using Macs. You know, by this stage, you know, Macs were all about design. They were in design studios everywhere. And to bring out a computer with a screen that small just made no real sense. I mean, I know it was designed for the home market, but it was bloody expensive. I mean, you've got this thing here with this cute little screen. It's cute, okay? I'll give you that. It's a cute little Mac. But underpowered, tiny screen, and friggin' expensive. It wasn't the smartest move, but of course that's one of the reasons why they become so collectible. I remember seeing one in a store once when I was younger, going in and seeing one and just going, I want one of these. It's so cute. It's just so cute. But alas, I didn't get to own one until just in the last few years, because I eventually got one for a good price. Wrong view, top view. There we go. I eventually got one for a good price. It was a Performer. Performer 250. Performer 250. And I bought it, and it was sold as untested, and it worked perfectly. I literally just plugged it in, switched the thing on the back, plugged the keyboard in, gave it the bazumba, and away she went. I've since recapped it, of course, but... Alright, so just going to give this a bit of a clean before we test it out. So I just want to see if these RAM sims work. I'd say, as I said before, I think there's about a 50-50 chance that they'll work, because there could well be broken traces. Color Classic is the only Mac I own. Color Classic is basically an LC2, yeah, in a little slot, in a slot case. Yes, that's very, very true. Very many similarities on them. But seriously, 16 megahertz 030? Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Apple did some really weird things at times. And I mean, I know what motivated a lot of those weird things, but stuff like, you know, when they brought out the Mac Classic, Now, it did fairly well for them in that it got into lots of schools and stuff like that. But to have brought out a Mac using an 68,000 chip, a 68000 chip, in whenever it was, 1991 or something, it was just like, come on, people need faster than that. But, you know, it allowed them to bring out a Mac for under $1,000. You could get the base model Mac Classic that had no hard drive in it. So it was just a floppy drive, no hard drive. You could get that for $999 when it first came out. US dollars, of course, was more out here. Right. So, shall we give this a try? We'll put this RAM into the 2FX and see if it actually chimes and starts up. I don't have room here to put a 2FX board because it's so friggin' huge. But why not? We'll make it work. Bugger. There we go. Might have to zoom out a bit. What do you reckon? I really do wish that this little camera that I have here, it was made so that it didn't have the dark corner, which is down here, this little dark corner. And it's clearly because the lens actually interferes with the line of vision, and I just don't like that. 030s was still kind of new in 1990, so probably a decent bit more expensive. I mean, again, I know the motivations. I totally understand the motivation for them doing what they did. But, you know, in computing, there should be two kind of certainties when it comes to computers. One certainty should be speed goes up, and another certainty should be price goes down. As the technology, you know, it gets mass produced, and certainly that's maybe the case for a long time there, maybe not, you know, not the case as much anymore. But you know, you really should be having you know, price coming down and speed going up. Now with the Mac Classic, what they did at that time was they fulfilled one of that criteria. That one was obviously that the price went down, so it was a lot cheaper to get a Mac. So you know, a lot of people who could never afford a Mac before suddenly could afford a Mac. But to have been selling this computer with the crappy power supply that they had, only 4 megabytes of RAM total, and a 68000 chip, I just sort of feel like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, I know that if they'd have put something more powerful in it, it would have cost more. So, as I say, I do understand the motivation, but at the same time, I still feel like it's pretty stingy. You know, a pretty under-spec sort of computer. Having said that, we bought one. Because it was totally true. I mean, they were out of our price range at our house. So we bought a Mac Classic. Ours had a hard drive in it. I can't remember the full spec. Obviously upgraded it to its full 4 megs of RAM. And even at one stage, we ended up getting an accelerator for it. I think it was called a Warp 030. Does that ring any bells? God, I wish I still had that Mac. It's long gone now. I mean, it was gotten rid of. It was possibly even just junked, or it might have been given away or something like that. But we got this Warp 030 accelerator for it, so it you know, went pretty quick. But just checking. Maybe they had a big pile of 68K lying around. You know what? There's a good chance. Well, because the other thing is that when you look at those very first Macs, they were in that great big long, where is it? I got them here. Great big long chip case like that. You see? All the pins on either side there. Great big dip. And then they brought it out as a, what is it, a PLCC, little square PLCC chip, I think. And when they made that change, I dare say they were probably able to manufacture 68K chips a lot cheaper. I'm missing a camera from here. It must be the microscope. This goes off and on. All right, okay, so I've got my RAM in here. I need a speaker so that I can hear whether it's chiming or if it's sad Mac chiming. I will just to begin with, I will. There's no point in connecting anything else to it. Can you? I mean, at this stage, because if it goes sad Mac, then that's it. That's the end of that experiment. Old man noises. Oh, there we go. Gotta figure out what to do for dinner tonight. I made a suggestion to my wife of a meal that I thought she would go, oh yeah, and she went, okay. So I might have to work a little harder on that, see what she wants. Generally, any time I say to my wife, I say, what do you want for dinner? And she'll go, chicken wings. And so today I said, hey, do you want me to do chicken wings tonight? She went, yeah, okay. I'm like, what? How does that work? How does that makes no sense to me. I'm going to plug this in now. So when we're ready, 3, 2, 1. It's Chimed. Bruce has a big dip. You're funny. Funny person. I'm doing a video at the moment of the restoration project on a computer, but I'm doing it as a pre-recorded one. And I'm so desperate to work on it. I'd love to work on it in this live stream, but I've committed to actually doing it as a pre-recorded video, you know, where I go do a project type video in the same way that people like, you know, sort of, Colin from This Does Not Compute and Sean from Action Retro do, where they kind of take a computer and they take you through the journey of restoring it. A lot of those I generally do in a live stream. But, you know, I sort of thought to myself, when I got this, I thought, you know what, this will actually make a good story because there are things that have happened that I think it will be a good journey. So, I'd argue a 233 megahertz G3 was a very adequate system for home users in 1998. Don't you ever challenge Steve when it comes to iMac information, because I tell you what, you will end up in one of his videos. There was a wonderful video. It was a terrible video, actually. It was a video done by, it was either Linus Tech Tips or someone from Linus Tech Tips, where they basically paid out G3. And it was filled with, G3 iMac, it was filled with so much misinformation that Steve literally stayed up all night to record a response video. Check it out if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it. It's absolutely fantastic. Because what he, you know, they just had all this stupid misinformation. Things like, they said things like, this was the last of the PowerPC Macs before Apple went to Intel. And it was G3 iMac. We had the whole G4 range. We had the whole G5 range. I mean, it was just complete and total nonsense. And then they were paying out that it only had 2 USB ports and stuff like that. And at that time, a lot of PCs didn't even have USB ports. You know, I mean, they were actually well ahead of the curve when it came to that technology at the time. So, you know, as I say, it was just lots and lots of misinformation. So Steve wrote this absolutely wonderful response video where he just, you know, called them out on all the nonsense they had filled it with. So, yeah, such fools. So anyhow, that was just, it was a good fun video, and of course it was so fun watching Steve so riled up. Of course, and he was posting little videos of him, you know, having trouble staying awake while he was doing this stuff. But anyhow, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to grab my little Zulu SCSI Slim. As I said, this is something that I'm a huge fan of just because it is so small. If you're someone like me and you're testing things, these external ones are just wonderful. You know, I have these generally loaded up with the System 6, System 7, and a System 7.5. So System 6, System 7, 7.1, and 7.5. I generally only have those systems on them. And then I just choose which one I want for what I'm working on. But this thing is just so crazy small. And it's going to be even smaller too, because I'm going to redesign this case so it doesn't have these little nipples sticking out the side. I'm going to have mine so that it just clips closed, so it won't need the holes for the screws. But anyhow, that's coming. There we go. Going to pop that on there. Now, I've got a horrible feeling I took my my VGA cable back up to the house. Actually, I'm sure I did, because I used it when I was using this. So I do apologise. I just need to go offline for about, 30 seconds while I go grab the cable. So just excuse me a minute while I go grab the cable. Back soon. We can get to see if this thing actually works with this RAM in it. Sorry about that, my good friends. Do we need video graphics? Do we need video graphics? We do need video graphics. So, I've got to grab myself a display card, which I have here. It's a nice little what do they call it? Macintosh display card, which will give us 256 shades of eye resting colour. And then I'll grab my little screen, which is floating over there. I'll plug this little guy in here. Like that. Wrong way around. Always get them around the wrong way the first time, don't we? USB's even worse, because you get them you go, oh, wrong way. You flip it over, you go, oh, wrong way. Flip it back again. Always happens with USB, doesn't it? Except for USB-C. Thank goodness for USB-C. Okay. Will. Display. That's what's his name? Tim Cook. We've got this great new display. All right. What am I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh yes. Okay. Will. KMac Vintage. I've got a task for you. I'm not asking for much. I just want you to design something which would be awesome. I would like you to make... Yeah, chicken cam, it's still down. Sorry. I mean, I can... It is literally just blank. Let me see. I'll see if I can get it working next time I get up. I'll just switch it off and on again. That sometimes does it. Any sort of connector that works both ways, in my opinion, is just technological brilliance. Okay, I'm just going to plonk this there so I can zoom into it when we start getting video. And I'll probably need a mousey. Mousey! There we go. Right, got myself a mousey. And then let's fire this up and see what happens. I think I'm still on HDMI. AV1, AV2. Vigor. Right, plug him in. Plug it in. There we go. 3, 2, 1. That shouldn't go there. That's silly. Right, the other day I did this and I had to switch it on. VGA. Oopsie, no signal. So maybe the RAM's not good. Or maybe I need to change the setting on this. I might need to change the setting on this. We'll try that. This is one of these little connector-roonies things. And I think this should probably just be on 640 by 480. So that's 1, 2 on and 6 off. There we go. So anyhow, what I would love someone to create is a new bus card with HDMI out. How about that? So a new bus display card. So it's not a big ask, is it? That should be easy. It should be easy. Anyone could do that. Yeah? Right? Will? Yeah? There's a project for KMac Vintage. I would love a new bus display card with an HDMI out. That would just be awesome. So there we go. The challenge has been put down. Someone. Okay. I know this computer works, by the way, and I know this display card. Well, actually, having said that, I haven't connected it to this port before. So I tried I think I did the middle port before. So I will just check that, because there are a lot of cruddy traces around these new bus slots. I should probably sort out. DVIA. Well, that's close enough. I can live with that. Oh, have you sorted the dodgy cable? No, not yet. I don't... It's in... So I'll tell you what I've done with the microscope, right? I opened it up, I removed the USB connector, and I replaced it with a new one. I thought, oh, that'll do it. It's still not better. I don't know if maybe it is actually just, it is the cable. I'm kind of tempted. See, I have this special cable. You can't see it. I'm pointing at it, but you can't see it. I have a special cable with a switch on it to flick between data or power. Because the way this camera works is if you connect it via USB, it becomes a USB webcam. That's great. But you can't see any of the controls, so you can't set things like the white balance or anything like that. You can only set those if you view this via HDMI. So you connect an HDMI cable to it. But the HDMI won't work unless you connect a USB cable that is power only. So I have this little switch on this one, so I can switch between data and charge, and then I've just put it on charge if I need to make some changes to the settings. So that's kind of the issue that I have with it. But I don't know, I mean, maybe it is the cable and I just need to replace it, but anyhow, we'll see. Or I might just change the sort of plug that it uses. Change it to something else. I should make something from scratch, because I'm clever enough to do that. There's a PDS version for the 2SI. No. That's not what I asked for. But I didn't know there was, actually. I need to find out about that. Okay, so just going to swap slots just to see if that has anything to do with it. Probably not, but we'll see. It's probably just this RAM is rogered. It's just not giving me a sad Mac or anything like that. But it's just not booting. What I can do is I can maybe put these into bank B, put the other ones into bank A, and then we'll see what happens. No, not getting any video. So first thing we'll do is put the other ones in, and we will... Ooh, speaker. And we'll at least get it working, and then I'll put these in bank B and see what happens. So do the fluxing RAM sticks work? Well, no, I'm not sure really yet. So these are the ones that got destroyed by a bad by a battery. Battery being a dick. I was talking about this during the last live stream, and it's just something that makes me so sad, because a 2FX is something which is such a prized possession. There are so many people that want a 2FX because it was such a significant piece of hardware when Apple released it. It was quite an amazing thing. And it's just really sad that, you have this wonderfully collectible hardware that's been made, it's just been destroyed by... batteries not being removed. Okay. Now, if I don't get video here, then I know there's something else wrong, because this computer does work. I've been using it. Okay, we've got video there. So that's nice. We like that? Yes, that's nice. Okay, I'm going to switch it off now, because otherwise it will boot up, and I don't want it to boot up. So now I'm going to put the disgusting RAM into bank B, and we'll see what happens there. One, two. These have got to be ones, just based on the size of the chips. They have to be 1 megabyte sim. So this is, I've got 16 in there, so this would take me up to 20. Here we go. Oh, it sort of chimed and then stopped. Oh, I chimed. That was a bank B RAM failure chime. So, yeah, not good. Not good. As I said, there could be so many things wrong with these chips. I'm just going to swap them around. Oopsie. Probably won't do anything, but you just move them around. It's like we used to do with SCSI in the olden days. You couldn't get your SCSI bus to work, so what you do is you put the one at the beginning of the chain on the end of the chain, or just wriggle them around a little bit, swap a couple of cables over. It's like, this cable, get rid of this cable and put a different cable in, and then all of a sudden it would work. Good old SCSI, eh? No. Definitely does not like the RAM in bank B. So I think we're all good. That's what I expected, but I wanted to try. Alright, so let's just piss these off now. And I'm going to start putting these other RAM sims together. But just reminding people, I do not have a great big store of 2.2 microfarad capacitors, so I will not actually be able to test these today. I can only build them. I've got to do an order with, what are they called? DigiKey, my preferred supplier of capacitors. And I've got an SE30 that needs recapping. I can always do that as well. Always seem to have an SE30 that needs recapping. They just find me. And of course, I tell you what I do want to do before I just build these. I want to just check and see if this starts. Crap, where's the RAM? It's all here. One, two, no, yes. Alright, so, just going to quickly do this. Pop in a ROM sim, which was floating around here somewhere. So this is the SE30 reloaded board that I built, and I've been having nothing but trouble with it. And some of it is my fault and some of it is manufacturing, but yeah, I just want to quickly test it out and then we'll build these RAM sims. If I can find a ROM. That looks like a ROM. My blink RAM's just over here. I have to do, so it's too thin, so let me just show you. Blink RAM here. I need to put blobs on them. So I've just got it here. I was actually using it the other day. Here's the problem. So you very kindly, thank you for this, put some little blobs onto the back side of that and some little blobs, actually both sides, some little blobs onto these to fatten them up, but not on these two. And so these ones make lovely contact, these ones don't. So I need to put blobs on those as well so that I can use them. But in the meantime, I do know that this RAM makes this Mac happy. Well, I think it does anyway. Then we need the display here, which we will connect via HDMI. Get rid of this stupid VGA cable. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, Paul, about how if someone could either build into, we're thinking like some software on a Raspberry Pi, but yeah, Arduino as well, that you could then use as a RAM tester. It's all technically possible, but just need someone with a larger brain than mine. And of course, another thing, of course, is when you're dealing with some of these Macs, like Mac 2s and stuff like that, they are so temperamental when it comes to RAM. And even the SE30s can be temperamental when it comes to RAM. I've had a situation where I've got 16 megabyte sims, right? Load them up into bank A, doesn't chime, doesn't work. Dead sad Mac chime. Stick 4 ones into bank B, she works beautifully. It's crazy. Righty. So, got that. I'm going to change this over to, I'm going to power it up. Change it to HDMI. There we go. And let's, I might have to give it some power. I want to give it 12 juicy volts. Negative. Oh, switch it off, eh? Right. Okay, so let's see what happens. That's RAM, that's ROM, that's power, that's sound, That's video. Well, I think we're all good to go. Let's see what happens. Yeah, sad Mac. So I had this booting yesterday with this exact configuration, and now I'm getting a sad Mac. And you'll see that I'm also getting the, when it comes up, I'm getting the CMAC display going on there. So this is really interesting because I'm a little bit baffled as to why it was working and now it's not working anymore. And I had another situation where I had some RAM in here and I held it down like this. Yeah, see, now it's not giving me anything. It is weird. This is so weird, this one. I mean, you know, I pulled all these parts off a really badly damaged Mac, and, you know, there's just that worry that one of these chips isn't right. You know, maybe the glue chip's rogered or something like that. But, you know, it's just, you know, as I say, yesterday I was booting. I was booting into System 7. And now I'm just getting a sad Mac chime. I went in and I cleaned up all the contacts on these RAM slots because these were old as well, so they're all cleaned up now. I went in and resoldered all of the pins at the back here. They're all resoldered, as long as I haven't bridged anywhere. I'll just check that now. Anything is possible. I don't see a bridge. Take us to the bridge. Oh crap, is that a bridge? Or is it just gunk? Take us to the bridge. Dun 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 dun. It wasn't a bridge, it was a bit of gunk. But, yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I know not. I am concerned about all this birdseed, though, because I didn't do this. You know, and who knows? I mean, maybe they put the wrong bloody components on or something. Who knows? Maybe pressure on the sims cracked the... You know, yeah, well, I soldered all those, resoldered all of those yesterday. So every single one of these joints for the RAM sims, they were resoldered yesterday. So I don't know, chaotic. And I don't really feel like I did anything between yesterday and today that would take me from a Mac that was booting to a Mac that is now sad Mac chiming. Look at that, that sort of started. I mean, I'm getting CMAC, which suggests there's a problem with like address lines or something like that. So I probably need to go and check all those, but poops. I don't know. I need one of those little lights and blinking. Yeah, lights and blinking. Let's get the little blinkies. We'll get the little blinky RAM here because we've got Will here and this is his. So I'm going to put some blobs of solder on these to fatten them up. Fatten these guys up. Das blinken lights, that's it. Das blinken lights. Das lights and blinken. I prefer that. Lights and blinken. Makes me think of Oktoberfest. We used to have an Oktoberfest here in these parts. And it was always held in the same place. A place called Fairfield out here. Fairfield Showground. And then it just ended up getting too expensive for them, so they stopped doing it. That was very, very disappointing. I used to love going to that. I used to go there with a friend, or group of friends, and we would sit there. We'd generally get there when it opened at about 9. We got there earlier once. We actually had to sit there and wait for them to open the bar. That's in the morning. And we basically just drink beer all day. All day. It's a lot of fun. Just getting the scope camera back. It's a little temperamental, as we know. It worked beautifully 2 days ago. I mean, it was fine. And now it's just been poopy. She'll come good. Put in 2 of the Blink RAM and 2 other 4MB RAM. Oh, okay. I could do that. I would really like to get the scope working though, because I'm going to be using that in a sec. Need to beam pictures into your living rooms. Alright, so here, I'll do what you said while we try and wait for this thing to come good. So we go here to top view, and I'll put this here, and I'll put alright, let's get the dust lights and blinking. There we go. We are following the instructions of Will, and we're going to try this now, and we're going to switch it on. Oh, we've got to put a ROM in. got to put a ROM in. There we go. And got a blue light. Oh, it's blinking. Well, it's blinking. And it's just... Can you hear the chimes still going? So, I mean, it's blinking away. Furiously. Blinky, 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 blink. I don't know what that means, but it's blinking. And I'm sure, can you see that? I'm sure I lift it up. There you go. Blinkety, 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 blink. It does identify as a pipe organ, doesn't it? It's never done this before, by the way. It's just done it for your benefit. But it's bizarre that it's actually accessing the RAM by the looks of it. Weird. Both of them blinking, yeah. Blinkety, blinkety, blink. And of course, these are the ones from, you know, what's his name, K-Cobra, and these have lights on them. So these just have power lights on them. They don't have any other sort. But it's blinking, blinking. Talkie toaster. As long as it doesn't identify as a toaster, it's Talkie toaster. Does anyone remember Talkie toaster? Okay, I'll switch it off and on again. That time the chime stopped and blink. Okay, so this time it's not doing the blinky blink. This time it's blue lights on but solid. It's system is accessing RAM and RAM access is working. So yeah. So why are we getting a sad Mac chime? Riddle me that. I'm open to suggestions. So that would suggest to me that all of these contacts are all good and fine and dandy. I haven't I would look now fully at your video stuff like the UH. Well, okay. Right. All right. Do you think, yeah, I, w- d- but I'm getting a video signal. Wouldn't, and I did actually get it to work yesterday. Don't you reckon? Give it more time between the power cycle. Off. I would. I mean, look, I will absolutely and totally go with your suggestion on this, Will. You know that, but I would not. Okay, so let me give you a quick timeline of events here. So what I had with this was sad Mac chime. I had the symptoms that you are seeing here is what I had. I had these symptoms, and then I flipped it over. Soldered on those diodes properly, and then it started working, but not working 100%. It had issues still. It wouldn't boot from SCSI. I couldn't seem to put more than 4 megabytes of RAM in it, and something else. But it was working, and then I then started having an issue where it was kind of giving me some intermittent issues. And then I had one instance where I couldn't get it to work, and then I held the RAM down like this, and it did, which suggests to me it was a soldering issue. But what I'm now wondering is if there is something else on this board that's not soldered properly, and my holding this down flexed the board in a way to make contact with something else. So that it was something completely different on this board, not the RAM, but the pressure on the board was making that happen. But since this, it's like not working, but I feel like I'm answering my own question here. You've just got a very quick little blink, and then just solid blue. I just press the reset button. It could be a birdseed issue having some other items not soldered well. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. I mean, maybe I just need to flip it over, douse the thing in flux, and just resolder all those little bird seeds underneath. Because I soldered everything on the top here myself, and as you know, I never make mistakes. There's ever. So hit the board with hot air. So, yeah, I did a little bit of that yesterday. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I hope you guys don't mind that I'm not doing these RAM sims that I can't test anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, and I am going to get out my trusty Styri ASMTF Flux, links in the description, discount code, and I am going to resolder all of the birdseed. What would you say about that whole situation where before it was flickering? Oh, yeah. Ow. Let's switch it off. This is a really cool thing, by the way. I'm going to buy more of these. I actually have a spare one of these, which I could use with it, but I need to buy another one of these. I had some fun the other day, and it's part of a project that I'm going to be working on. It's coming. I've got a lot of project videos coming, basically, at the moment. And I got one of these little Raspberry Pi, what are they called? Nano? Something like that. Raspberry Pi Zero. I've got a little Raspberry Pi Zero. And I installed RetroPie on it, and I installed Basilisk on it. And so I got it emulating a Macintosh IIci. And it works quite well. It won't play Myst, unfortunately. I really would have liked to have played Myst on it. But anyhow, and I got this little guy, and then I connected it up to a battery pack, a USB battery pack, the ones you buy to charge your phones, like a USB, whatever they call them, power station thing. And I plugged that into here, and then I had it running, and I thought to myself, I just made a portable computer. I just made a portable Macintosh. How about that? But anyhow, that's a future project coming up at some stage in the future. Now, I've got to get this microscope working, don't I? I mean, we can't not have microscope. So it's just not on. And if it's not on, it's not on. You get one with fan control, and I can send with no Pi 0. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, I would. I'm thinking about the fan side of things because I was definitely going to put a fan in it, but I was going to do an always-on fan. But that's got me thinking that have a fan that just comes in when needed. That's pretty cool. Is this 2FX a rework or a repopulated clone board? It is a rework. So this one is an absolute, genuine 2FX board, green board, and it's one that has got a bit of corrosion on the traces, but they haven't really worn through many of them. There are only 2 traces that I found that were broken, and it had the batteries removed from it. Someone had the good sense to remove the batteries from it, and so yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to try something here. Let's go here to that. And then let's go here to... Oh, okay, it's not coming up in the USB at all. So let's just try this a bit. It's not actually coming up as a USB device. That's not a good sign. Discard changes. I wonder if this cable is actually just fully rogered. That could be it, you know. This cable could be cactus. In which case I might have to go get a new cable. They have ups and downs, ups and downs. Yeah, I might have to go get a new cable for this. And just bodge it. I've got a cable here. It's not going to look the best, but it should work. Let's try that. Boop a doop boop. Boop a doop boop. I don't even know if the other end of this is plugged. Oh no, it's just plugged in and got power. So discard. Yeah, let me just. I'm just going to go to a different tool here. And go here to file. Oopsie. I hate that. Stupid technology. It lulled me into a false sense of security by working so well for a while there. I don't think it's the cable. So at least I don't need to use this stupid thing, because I don't think it's the cable. I think it's inside the camera. Maybe it doesn't like being out in the shed all the time. Might have to look at it. Might have to actually whip it off and have a look at it. We'll just have to do that with a different camera. There we go. Let's whip off the camera and have a look at it. That's something that's more important. Hello, Mr. Stormtrooper. You need to do some target practice, Mr. Stormtrooper, because your aim's terrible. Okay. Screwdriver. Sorry, I've lost the chat. Here we go. There we go. 12 volt 2 wire fan. Compact board uses a 12 volt 2 wire fan. Those 4 packs around the RAM could have something flaky. Yeah, I had thought about those little resistor net thingies. That is something that had occurred to me. I could always connect this up for IHDMI. That's a thought. Get my other glasses. See, why does this... Where's the bad contact coming from? Oh. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Just going to have a quick look at this under the microscope. It does not make sense. I wonder if it's that cable. Wouldn't have thought so. Yeah, worst comes to the worst, I'll just connect it up via HDMI. I've got an HDMI cable here I can use. And I'll just bring it in instead of this side camera. Picture's better if I do that too, by the way. I actually had someone who was prepared to sell me a tech step, but I sort of decided that it was quite a lot of money, and I just questioned whether I really wanted one that badly. It's really bad. It's never been this bad before. I've never had this issue. Whatever was a little bit iffy before is well iffy now. I want to do one thing here just very quickly. I don't know why it would make any difference, but I just want to check the plug at this side. Actually, what difference would that make? What difference would that make at all? None. Yeah, I think we're going to have to flip over to HDMI, which is disappointing because it's just so much more convenient to have this thing running. It's just not there at all. It's just not coming up. Maybe I need to restart my computer. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's put them back together. Let's use the HDMI. We'll just pretend like this never happened. If I can get the top back on. Oh, it's the LED, isn't it? No? What's not poking through? Something stopping it from this side. Screwdriver. Anyone? Anyone see where I put it? Is it on the floor? Oh, of course it's on the floor. That's where I keep things. Okay, let's go back here to the old this. We'll make this all happen. Now that I have a plan, I shall make things happen a bit more swiftly. So I put this onto charge, not data. It's almost like the, what do you call it, the camera has decided it's not getting a data signal and it's flipped over into the HDMI mode. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that's what's going on. So there's bad contact being made with the data part oh crap, yeah, on the thingamaboob. Right, so what were we going to do? We were going to grab a USB cable, and I think I need an adapter because it's the little one. Hello, chicken. And we will grab this and this and bring this over here. And this won't this be fun? We're having an adventure together. Yeah. That's a big old plug sticking out the top of that. And then we'll plug this in. And then we'll just adjust the white balance. Oh, got to switch it on. Yeah, there we go. You'll actually find this is way, way smoother now. There we go. All right, so we're here. We've got a microscope. And I have to just figure out what I'm going to do about this in the future. All right, I'm just going to read all this chat because I've been doing all that. Okay, here we go. There we go. 400 compared to 1500 plus is well worth it. Ah, yes, we're talking about the text step, the reproduce text step. Most importantly with the reproduce text step is you've got all of those ROMs built in, which I think is just a fantastic thing. I found many issues with text step testing boards that I normally would send out. Okay, that's good. That's great. I always found I thought they were pretty useless. Maybe it's just because Steve doesn't know how to use his. That's a joke, Steve. I think one of the problems that you often have with some of these older Macs where they've got large amounts of trace damage, a text step isn't really designed to find things like busted traces and stuff like that. But you know, I'm sure they help with a lot of things. Here's the list of 1500s because some idiot posted a prototype and everyone thought the normal ones were worth that much. I saw it all happen with my own eyes. They were 200 to that one. Okay, that's my temporary sound. It's not very good, I appreciate. But that is my temporary sound. I will just nip up. I will grab myself my other one of these, which hopefully has a bit of charge in it. Now it's been charging the whole time I've been sitting here. So I shall go grab that and I'll be right back. So my apologies for all the technical hitches this time. It's been great. Back soon. Where's that? Okay. Yes, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. All these technical hitches. Been terrible. So, what I am going to do is, as part of my plan that I was talking about before, I am going to work my way around the bottom side of this board, putting some flux on all of these little components, and checking to see that they're all soldered well. I'm using the flux because the flux helps that solder flow with these things. And also helps me see which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done. Boo boo, boo 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 boo. Now this will provide me with peace of mind. May not necessarily solve the problem, but I will at least then be able to say, hey, I've done this. Alright. I was talking about tech steps, and I didn't realise that I was talking to no one. Because my mic had gone dead. It was lucky it went dead. I was saying all this offensive stuff. It was terrible. Okay. Oh, thank you for the shirt. This is my little Wile E. Coyote Super Genius t-shirt. I love this shirt. It's good fun. Whoopsie. One of the things that has always been incredibly frustrating when it comes to buying vintage computers, and we've all seen it, we've all experienced this, and we used to talk about it on Mac all the time, is the fact that there are a lot of people that maybe not terribly experienced with eBay, they might be new to it, something like that, that go around and they search for something, whatever it might be. I don't know, this happened recently with, I saw this on TV, they were talking about some of these old, like crock pots, that were selling for big money. And I remember someone talking about it and saying, oh, these crock pots are going for like $500 each. And people are like, wow, $500, amazing. I'll sell mine. I'm sitting on a gold mine. You jump onto eBay and you just see that someone has listed these things with a buy it now price of $500. They're not sold. That doesn't mean that they're worth $500. It means someone is trying to get $500 for it, but it's not sold. And that has just always infuriated me, that all of these people that see things on eBay with a particular asking price that have not been sold suddenly convinces people that that's what those things are worth. And that is just annoying. Just going to trim off a little. Oh, my screen just went black. That's good. Today is the day for technical glitches at the Brangus Creations YouTube channel. Already Mr. Tech Gadget, hello, and thank you for joining. And yes, you've already missed two. Well, we're actually working on an SE30 now, and I'll tell you why. It was my intention, and I may still do it. It's my intention to build some RAM sims from a kit, from ground up, sort of thing, for the 2FX, 16 megabyte sim. So I'll be able to take it up to, what is that, 64 megabytes of RAM, which of course, how cool is that for 2FX? Actually, I can take it up to even more than that because I've got 4 4s, so I'll be able to take it up to 16 plus 64, 70, 80 megabytes of RAM. And I realized when I went to go do it that the kit requires some 2.2 microfarad capacitors, 2.2 microfarad capacitors, and I don't have any. So while I can stick the chips on, I can't test them. So I got a bit frustrated by that. So I moved on to my SE30 reloaded board, and I've got some clever people in the chat here which are kind of offering some suggestions of things I might be able to do to see if I can get it working, because it's doing weird stuff. Very, very weird. Looks like I already had a go at these. Get lots of solder on these. I might hit these with hot air afterwards, but I just want lots and lots of solder on them. So we've got 2 Dutch people in the chat. Oh my goodness. What was that show where someone was saying something and I can't remember what the show was, but in it, you know, they're saying, oh, this guy's an asshole, and it's like, no, he's not an asshole, he's just Dutch. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? That capacitor is cracked in off. I mean, I didn't break it then, I just dislodged it. I think we might have found our mystery guest. Yeah, the video pals. Yep, it's right. It's right in between that lot of them. So, yeah, I wonder if it's always been cracked. This was a good thing to do. So this is C43. I'm just going to lift that off my donor board. That's not my donor board. I think my donor board is underneath all of these things. No, that's a 512K. That's not a donor board at all. How about that? Nope. Nope. There's my donor board. It's underneath the 512K. Oh, excuse my. So, C43. C43 is missing on this one. Is that it there, maybe? I don't know if anyone remembers what I did to this board. That's possibly C43. Yeah, let me get a good one so I can at least read what's on it. Okay. Oops, a dinky divey. C43, here we are. Here he is. Oh, I can't read it. Yeah, I'll get the schematic up. Schematic automatic. File, open recent. SE30 schematic. That's how often my bloody schematic's up on there. Right, let's do a little search-a-rooney, shall we? C43. Can you see it? No, found. Not found. C43 not found. C space 43? I can't read this. I'll have a look in the chat, someone might know. Okay, was it C43 is 100 nanofarad. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I might even have new 100 nanofarads. That was, you said 100 nanofarad, didn't you? 100 nanofarad. I think I've got them. Is that 0.1 microfarad? Is 100 nanofarad 1.1 microfarad? Point 1 US2 nano farad. 100 nanofarad 0.1. Yep. Oh, it's cool. I got new ones. I can just stick a new one on. Oops. There we go. It's a different size, but that's all right. Still going. Oh, that's the wrong board. That's a good board. Yes, the bad board. But it was definitely a good idea, I think, don't you, to go through and fiddle around with all these. Side view. Fiddle around with all these caps, because otherwise I would not have found this. My wife is trying to teach me Spanish. I'm not interested, but I know all the words for when she's pissed. Ouch, Bernie's, ouch, Bernie's hot. Puff. Up in a puff of smoke. There we go. Now, let's continue with the rest of them, because who knows, we may find some more. That was such an extraordinary thing. So, I wanted to ask you a question, Colin, after watching your video. Did you ever ascertain whether the fault with the component going on was your mistake or their mistake? Because I'm just curious about that. So, sorry if it's a spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched Colin's latest video. This would definitely explain why it works sometimes and doesn't other times. If it was cracked. This will get into an ultrasonic cleaner when I'm done with it, Mega. So any flux that's anywhere will be totally washed out of every single nook and cranny. It will be as clean as a whistle. Really need to get that bodge wire stuck down. got myself a bridge. Burge. So I need to get my wick. There it is. Hiding. I'm sure that bridge is fine. Yeah, no one will notice. No one will know. Just don't tell anyone. I'm kind of hoping I find another broken one. Because, you know, find another broken one. I'm giving more reasons why it wasn't working. I have to say, there are a couple of things about this board that I really love. The redesign of this board, because Bold is a really, really clever cookie, right? And there's a few things that he's done on this board. First of all, he's obviously redesigned it as a 4-layer board instead of a 6-layer board. So that's great because it keeps costs down for getting the thing made. That's one awesome thing. The other thing is he's replaced the original, he's made it so that you can stick a CR2032 battery holder on there if you would prefer that over the 3.6 lithium battery. So that's another really cool thing that he's done. But what he's also done is he's made these little pads on the bottom that you can join together if you want to. And if you join them together, you can make it so that you override the little flicky switch inside the headphone socket. So if you want to make it so that you force the sound out of the speaker, even if you don't have the socket on there. And he's also set up little pads for ADB power. So if you want to, if you need to grab the 5-volt power from somewhere, you can grab it from the ADB port, which is just it's thinking stuff. You know, I probably wouldn't have even thought of doing any of those things if I was redesigning it. But he said, "Oh no, you know what? I'm going to add these things. It will be good. And the people will be joyous." I'm going real hard on the flux here, but I just like to, you know. Another bridge. I don't think that one matters. Oh no, yeah, don't want that bridge. Good. Good. You have to jump both those pads by the jack. Okay, cool. Because, yeah, with the project that I have in mind for this, I don't know that I'll even need a headphone socket, to be honest. Maybe. We'll see. I'm really looking forward to starting that project, actually. But I've got to finish my other project first. And then get it onto the YouTubes and start getting lots and lots of views and likes and things. So that's what I exist for. Views and likes and things. It's funny, I've got a Rode Podcaster microphone attached to my main computer, which of course I use when I'm doing my voiceovers. So just, you know, it's a lovely sound. It's got a really nice sound to it, and of course it's fully digital, so you don't have to worry about, you know, connecting it up to, you know, XLR inputs and stuff like that. But of course it's the microphone that I also use when I'm doing meetings. So when I have a meeting, and I'll come on into a Teams meeting or Zoom or something like that, and it's always gets comments like, "Oh, I think we've got a radio announcer here." There you go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Do you know what the funny thing is? No one ever asks what the channel is. No one. Ever. If I say, oh yeah, no, I've got a YouTube channel. That's it. So, fair enough. I mean, I'm not busting to tell people about it or anything like that, but I just would have thought someone would ask. No one ever does. Try board. Okay, well I think I got all of them. Oh no, I missed a few. Flip them over. There's only a few left here. I'll get them all done. And then I will try board. Oh dear. I assume these inductors are on the back are hard to find because when I built this, or when I got hold of this board, it didn't have the inductors in place. I had to take them from my donor board. So I assume those inductors aren't something that you can just tell JLC PCB to put in place. Oh, I didn't put any flux on that one, and look at the way that solder is stringing. No, you can't see it. Stringing. Oh, I moved it. I like to move it, move it. I'm just gonna get the old hot air out for that one. Wonderful thing about hot air is the way it actually positions the component where you want it. The surface tension. Where did I put my bloody tweezers? I just had them in my hand. There we are. Something smells sweet. I wonder what that is. Oops, I just got solder on that pad. Oh well. Yeah, I guess people just would assume they wouldn't be interested in a random person's YouTube channel. Yeah, I guess. Maybe people think it's going to be something like weird, because I'm pretty weird. I guess it is pretty weird. Oh, there's my little bodge wire. I really wish I'd stuck that down before I got this board covered in flux, but never mind. Never mind. Okay, so what we've done now is we have soldered every single birdseed component on the back. Fresh. I don't think there are any missing. Yes, there is. Just one there. Here we go. You're not weird, they are. Yeah, that's my mantra. I know you are, but what am I? Alright. Test board. Okay, so I've got my little blinking lights in. Lights and blinking. Oopsie. There we go. Okay, we've got that. I need my ROM. I took my ROM out. I kept my RAM in. That was nice of me, wasn't it? Right, so I've still got the same configuration as I had before. I've got my There we go. I've got the 2 lights and blinking in the front there, and then I've got just normal 4s there. I've got that there. I have never been able to get this to boot with 4 megabyte sims, so that's just something I thought I would mention. Alright, so let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Still getting a SARD mark charm, but I will put those ones in again, the ones that did work with before. Yep, getting the SEMA CMAC video. Yep, but as I say, after replacing that cracked cap, I want to just put in these ones because they were the only RAM sims I could get it to work with before. Okay. Got no sound from that one at all. And SEMA CMAC video. Soldering for Sunday dinner, yes indeed. Hello Mikey N6IL. I would be amazed if it was just that one cap. Yeah, no, I tend to agree. Was it these ones that was... No, it wasn't these ones that it worked with. I'm talking out of my backside. It was these ones that it worked with. Just these ones. This is the only RAM I could get it to work with. Okay. 3, 2, 1. No, same. Same. I will just push this down. No. Poops. So we're thinking maybe this row of the UX8s. Shall I replace all of those? What do you reckon? This thing's covered in flux. I've got to finish what I started with this, which I was going to put solder on this, but then I had all my trouble with my camera, so just going to do this now because it's covered in flux. Just covered in flux. Noise from the chickens. Got this bloody song in my head. Don't know any of the words, I just know the tune. Know the tune. There's some sexy looking blobs there, aren't they? Nice. Oh, that's delicious. Oh, that one needs a little bit more. Bloop. It's actually really fun doing this. Nice. Did that SAD cap fix? No, it did not. And this is actually an SE30. This is I've been working on the SE30 with the SAD Mac chime. The 2FX is fine. It was just those RAM sims which were in a terrible state because they were battery damaged, and I just cleaned them up and they didn't work. So yeah, I will try all 4 of the Blink RAM. That is what I have in mind. We're on the same wavelength, my good sir. They look good to me. Nice blobs. Nice blobs. Didn't get to see any of that. I didn't do it with a microscope. I needed more of a wider view. There's that one. Oh, crap, where have I put the other one? Under stuff. That's where it'll be. Under things. So there's that one, and that one. I mean, I had it here earlier. Is it on the floor? Where everything ends up? God, it amazes me how quickly things move around on this desk. Just a little bit of a push and a bit of a shove, and then the next thing you know, everything's on the other side of the desk. Ah, found it. Lights and blinking. Must go and do things. No worries, Jay. Enjoy doing your things. I should be doing things as well. I mean, I am doing things, but I should be doing other things. But that's okay. Screen just went black again. There we go. Nice blobs on that one. Time for the other side. Ow. Yeah, there's lots of things that I've actually been doing. So yeah, that's everything in order. So I started with a 2FX. The one thing that I actually did intend to do in this live stream, I have not actually done, which was build these RAM sims, and that was, as I said before, because while I can stick the chips on them, I can't test them because I don't have 2.2 microfarad capacitors here in my stock. So I have to order some, then I can build the chips. And then I can have a 2FX loaded up with 16 megabytes of RAM. I will put a link in the description for the guy who made the 2FX sims. If you actually just do a search for 2FX RAM GitHub, just go into Google and go GitHub 2FX RAM, it will actually take you to the project page. And he's got the Gerbers on there and the bill of materials and whatnot. So good that people are doing that sort of stuff, don't you reckon? There we go. Those blobs are alright, eh? Hey, good blobs. Good night, Foxhound 477. Excuse me. So 2FX, then we went to SE30, then we went to camera, and then back to 2FX. I mean, to SE30. I was using my 2FX on the internet earlier today, and it is always a sobering reminder of how computer speed has kind of, or the way computers have advanced has been in line with the advancement in the internet. So, you know, I mean, things like being able to open a JPEG quickly. You know, on an old computer like that, it takes an absolute eternity to open a JPEG image. Ugh. You know, you sit there and watch a progress bar move across when you're opening a single JPEG image. And then you take a modern web page today where loading it up, you're having to load, I don't know, 50 JPEGs in a couple of seconds. All right, so blinking lights. Top view. Turn off the Fume extractor. And then we put all the blinkies in. I might just give these a bit of a wipe because they get a bit alcohol. Zoom out. I really should have just been doing all of that with the top view instead of the microscope view. Microscope view was not of much benefit because I couldn't get the whole sim into the view, so I was just looking at it without it. Okay, so here's my ones that I've just cleaned up and put little blobs on, so they should make better contact with these sim slots, I dare say. So we've now got all 4 blinkies, which makes us happy. And then got myself a ROM here. RAM. 512K ROM sim. There you go. Let's get this. Wasn't that bizarre that time when where the chime just stayed on? It was viciously accessing the RAM. Alright, so lights and blinking. Let's switch him on. Okay, we've got lots of blinking going on there. Didn't get a chime though. It's going like crazy. Got CMAC. No chime, didn't get any sound. But we are RAM blinking like fury. Hello to Haya Tawil. I can't read that, I'm afraid, but hello. So it's pretty blinking. But the blue looks like it's blinking incredibly fast, and then the red is blinking as well also too. But we are just stuck with this CMAC display here. Nothing happening. Carthor, hello there. So I don't know if there's anything you can read into that, Will. I'm going to switch it off. I'm going to leave it off for a bit. I'm going to switch it on again. But it's definitely talking to the RAM, no doubt about that. Yep, no chime. So no SADMAC chime, no chime of any description, but just lots and lots and lots of RAM activity. So it's reading the RAM, so that's all good. Now, we didn't get a SADMAC chime, okay? Let's be sure of that. That a good video ROM? Don't know, I'll swap it for another one if you like. This guy. I'm going to swap him over. This is off my donor board. Where's my thing? I've got a thing that I use for getting RAM out, or I can just use the screwdriver. This one's usually quite good. I need my thing. My thing's thinner. It gets into the little crevices. Try this thing. This might work. Okay, so we'll definitely have a look at the U8 area soon because they are the original chips. I've got replacements for all of them, but let's try the video ROM first. All right, video ROM out. Let's grab a video ROM from another board. I think this one works. It looks to be in pretty good condition. I don't know that it works though. Let me grab one that I definitely know works. This one, I definitely know it works. This is ceramic chip, this one. Right, so we're swapping over our video ROM. Pop that in the thing with the hing. Like that. And then we get this over here. And then we switch it on. Okay, getting a very different response this time. We're not getting the furious activity on the RAM. It's just sitting there, blue light. SEMA CMAC again. But that in itself is not too surprising anyway, because I have been getting that sort of variation between switching off and on in the past. So I've just got one blink from that. When I switch it on, I'll just leave it off for a sec. Yeah. So that's with a different ROM getting a very different behavior. But as I said, I wouldn't be at all surprised if I stick the other ROM back in and it stays like this again. Because it's all very different behaviors. Okay, so let's stick my original ROM back in and then we'll try it again and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we've gone back to that initial behavior. So it doesn't always start up the same way. Beep, beep. Now I should point out that I have many times gone and checked my soldering of all of the PLCC chips. So I'm pretty confident that I don't have any bridges or solder balls or anything in any of these PLCC chips. So just putting it out there, just so I know that's always something that it would be someone going, oh, what about that? Well, that's that. So I guess the next thing is we potentially look at replacing this row of chips here. I mean, I don't know, but you know. Huh? So I need to get some of my miscellaneous containers here. MISC, not this one. They're caps that don't. I just want to see if I've got resistors, got diodes. Just checking to see if I might have just had a stash of those 2.2 capacitors, but I don't think I do. Nope. This looks like the right container. This looks like the right container. Whee. So, oh geez, I've only got 2 of these left. I think it's one that I only need 1 here, but this is the 393. 393. 393. I need 2 of them. So I've only got 2 393s left. Wow. How about that? Oh, I'm not on scope view. Sorry about that, everyone. Side view. There we go. So let's use my last 2 393s, and I must remember to order some more. Don't say strange. Will, don't say strange. I need confidence. I need confidence. I need positivity and confidence. That's strange. Are these the new ones? No. Yes. Yes, these are new ones. These are brand new. I'm not going to take these off because these are brand new. I did replace these with new ones. I replaced all of these with new ones. These are all brand new. The 253s, 393 and the 166 are all new. I'm just comparing them to my to what I have here. There's 166. Is that new? Don't think the 166 is new. Let me have a look. So these ones must have been looking cruddy, which so I decided to put new ones on. Let me have a look here at the 166. Yep, that's new. Whoopsie. That is new. That is new. And the other one, which is I think this one. This is 253, 253, F253, F253. Oh, come on, you stupid thing with a thing. Yep, I think they're all brand spankers as well. 258 1 DCM, 25A 1 DCM, yep, G4, yep. Yep, so every single one of these chips is brand spankers. MacMan142, hello there. I'm still wrestling with this stupid SE30 reloaded board. Yeah. What about these guys? Gonna be these guys? These ones in the sockets? Who knows? Scarlet Swordfish, hello there. Yep, they're all new. So every single one of these are in the UX8 row. So that's UA, UB, UC, UD, UE, UF, UG8. All of them are brand spankers. So we've got these. I mean, I guess I could take all of these out of their sockets and stick them back in again in case there's some sort of contact issue. I've got to find my thing. Here's my thing. Maybe check and make sure that I put these all in the right order. I mean, they worked before, so they have to be in the right order. Which these ones? Well, just, as I said, keep in mind that these. So I lifted these. These all came off a dead board, but there was no damage in the area where these came from. So these were all in pretty good condition. But as I say, I mean, they did work. I did get this computer to boot. We have to remember that it did actually boot. I was able to use the computer and stuff. I'm just going to check all the making good contact again. Bing. Bong. Bing. Alright, so they've all just been pulled out and put back in again. I know that's sort of like, that's a little bit like in IT, switching it off and on again, but you never know. I really should go back to the RAM that that definitely worked. Yeah, no sound again. Back to that. So these are the sort of symptoms we get. What I will do though, I'm going to I'll apply some pressure to these ones. Yeah. And of course, sometimes it consumes different amounts of electricity as well. Sometimes it's under 1 amp and sometimes it's over. Who knows? So I'm going to go back to, I know we've got the blinky RAM here, but I'm just going to go back to the RAM that I did actually have it working with. Just for shits and giggles. Okay, I've got a chime and then a sad Mac chime that time. Oh, camera, sorry. Sorry. Yep. So that time, I was still getting the CMOS Mac, but at that time I got a chime followed by a sad Mac chime. That time I got a chime without, followed by a sad Mac chime. And oh, we got CMOS Mac, but let me just see if I keep holding this down. And we'll start it up again. Ooh. It definitely feels like something not soldered on properly, you know. The bending of the board is having an impact. See, now we're not getting a chime anymore. But we're using 1.2 amps. We're actually using more amps than before. Before it was only using 1 amp. And then before that it was using under 1 amp. It was using 900 milliamps or something like that. This is too weird. Hi there, I've got a motherboard out of a Color Classic. Is that any good to you? You can have it for free. I would gladly take that, thank you, Lisa. I actually know someone who is after a Color Classic logic board. He was asking me if I had one spare. His name's Max. He's a sort of good friend of the channel. I have known him for a long time and actually have some of his things here that I need to get back to him. But yeah, that would be welcomed. Thank you very much, Lisa. Fleur camera time. I don't know. Push board more on table. Okay. Push board more on table. No. So weird, isn't it? Yeah, it chimed. It chimed that time with me holding down these chips. It has got to be something making bad contact. It's got to be. Just got to find it. And it seems like it's in this area here, but this is all just, I don't know. Let's have another look. Let's have another look under the microscope. How can I get hold of you to get address to send it to? Probably the best thing to do if you are on Facebook is to send me a message on Facebook, either through the Brankus Creations Facebook Messenger or through me, Bruce Rain Messenger, just sending me a message. The other option is you can send an email to mail@brucerain.com. It's the spelling of my name, BRUCERAYNE.com, mail@brucerain.com. I'm pretty sure that email address still works. Hope it does. It's linked to my PayPal account. What else then? Or Discord, or Tinker Different. So there's the Tinker Different Discord. You can contact me through that. You can message me directly through Discord. Facebook works. There you go. Cool. Probably the best thing to do is to go to my Bruce Rain Facebook page and message me there. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to try a different RAM sim here. I just realised I did a lot of my testing with one red sim, and now I've flipped to another one, so I should really stay consistent with these sorts of things. That's so bizarre. So that's definitely, when I push that down, it is having an impact. So yes, going to have some inspections. If is unclip ROM, keep in socket, slide it as much as you can to the left. To the left? Huh. To the left, eh? I will try that next time. Alright, so I'm going to just have a little look here to see if there's anything I can see that may not be soldered down properly. So back to the scope view here. Oh, that's right. Side view. So we've got our stupid floating point unit. I can't imagine that would cause any issues unless it was actually like a short or something on there. And this one, as you can see, is in terrible condition. But, you know, I would not have thought there was anything that the floating point unit would be causing with that. Alright, so we've got all these little guys down here. Oh, this is all covered in flux. It's getting it all over my hands. It's disgusting. I get some nitrile gloves on. Nitrile. Fat hands, fat hands, fat hands. God. I have bigger gloves. Oh, there they are. Black nitrile ones. I should have just put those on. Never mind. See how we go. Alright, so just go a little pokey around here, so. And everything here looks soldered on solid. I guess some of these ones, you know, we don't think it's RAM related, do we? Because we were getting all the blinking lights. So it's sort of like it's talking to the RAM. This has been through the ultrasonic a few times, and so there's that fear that there's been a little bit of ultrasonic erosion going on here. But that's fine. God, we're a bit out of focus, aren't we? Sorry about that, people. Geez, I just thinking. Pushing down here, pushing down. This has all been soldered and check soldered and soldered again and then some. And we just went and soldered all of this birdseed today. So I can't imagine there's any issues with any of that. That sort of has to be stuff up on this side. I have a lot of trouble with these little tiny pals. Oh, sorry, PLCCs. Because the pads don't stick out very far. And of course, it's something that must only be making the slightest difference. I mean, do I go around just pushing different things here? Just going to grab a cable, an extender cable, so that I can lift this power supply off the board and try switching it on while pressing things. And then, at a certain point, I'm going to give up and I'm going to say, stuff it, it's for another day. But I'd love to get this working with the amount of effort that I've put into this so far. So what I'm going to do, just excuse me for a minute, I'm going to grab my little extender cable. Oh, far out. Is that one? Oops, I just moved the camera. So I'm going to pop this there, and I'll pop this there. So now I can have this sort of sitting a bit more remotely, and I can access all these chips, and I can press different areas of the board to see whether it makes any difference when I switch it on. I think that's a reasonably logical way of doing this. Geez, diagnostics are boring, aren't they? Okay. Okay, that is silent CMAC. Silent. Did I get that plugged in correctly? So just to confirm, when I did this, when I did it before, it's not anymore. Okay, got a sad Mac chime that time. Hello, Francois. I'm just pressing the reset button. I think I'm pressing the reset button. Yeah. No worries, Rudy. Thank you for joining. No, I think I have to switch it off and on each time. It's just so bizarre the way you can just change so quickly. Geez, these wires are in a terrible state. Okay, so that was pushing down the ROM. And it doesn't make any difference anymore. It is just so intermittent. Just going to try. Okay, so I'm getting it to do it consistently now. by bending this board up. I just need to make a special holder for the board. We've got that where it's still chiming. And it changed when I let go of the board, so I wasn't bending it anymore. It is so bizarre. It is just so inconsistent. Now, what did you say? To the left. To the left. It doesn't really go left. I am as far down as I can. I've pushed it to as far to the left as I can. Yeah. I don't know. Have I done some damage when I put this together? I just don't know. I mean, it's just so crazy intermittent. I mean, you know, I initially thought, yes, it's using less power now as well. It's using 0.85 amps. And normally when I get the stuff, it's usually getting up around the 1 amp mark. Chimed, and then I got the bank B memory error. Did you hear that? Is it out of the question that there is a fault on this board? You know, maybe there is a via not making proper contact on an inner layer or something like that. Is that just crazy? Is that crazy talk? Just curious. It's just so weird. I mean, I can go around and I can sort of replace all these components one at a time and stuff like that, but the fact that I can get it to do this stuff when I can get it to change behavior when I'm pushing things down. See, that's just nothing. Do it again. Then if I put pressure on the left-hand side here where all the RAM sims, sad Mac chime. And it's still going, still chiming. Let's put the blinkins back in. It's amazing. This is quite a perplexing little thing here. And I really am starting to wonder whether there is actually a fault with the board itself. You know, like some fault during manufacture. And yeah, I mean this isn't my first board build, you know. Okay, so that's what we were kind of getting before, and then I'll put some pressure on this. Nope. Put some pressure on this. Nope. Wiggling it to the left. Got a blink on the first one and the last one there, just a single blink. Yeah, I was actually thinking of like if the issue with the board was perhaps something that's losing contact and then making contact when I bend the board. You know, that's sort of, that was my thought. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm not even getting a sad Mac chime with this RAM in anymore. We were getting a sad Mac chime before, but we're not anymore. There's some heat coming off here. I can definitely feel these chips are getting warm. I think my camera is actually... Oh, I've got a camera down here, I think. I usually keep my big Vevor down here. Under something, probably. I've got 3 thermal cameras. If I don't have one down here, I am a failure. And I don't. I think they're all upstairs. What an idiot. No, this board was made at JLC PCB, it's my understanding. If I do get one of these made up, I will definitely get it done at PCB way though. Okay, that's me pushing them down again. And we got, I just got a sort of little flicker there. Just hang on a sec. We've got that long chime again. But do you recall last time that happened, we had just crazy activity happening at the RAM, but we're not getting that anymore. Can I pull the ROM forward towards me? Nothing. It's so intermittent, it's just crazy. It is so crazy. It's like, you know, if I stand on my head, I might get a chime. Oh, while we're here, I will pop in the Rominator 2 because I've got one here. I'll just use this. I just wanted to show you what happens when I use the Rominator 2. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, nothing. Nothing with the Rominator 2. I have had different things happen with the Rominator 2, but not today. Today, no. Nope. I'm getting very tired of this. I'm going to be calling this a day in a second. Yep. Oh, look at that. The RAM is flickering. Oh, I haven't got the speaker connected. Now, when you don't have the speaker connected, you don't get much sound. Okay. Right, now. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, no, it stopped again. So let me do this again. We'll do this again. We'll do this again. Off, on. Got the chime from the Rominator, then the Sad Mac chime. So this is using the Rominator. And then it just restarted itself. And again. And again. And now, look at this. So bizarre. the weirdest thing ever. I'm enjoying all this crazy activity, though. This crazy, bizarre activity. It makes me feel special. F240 chip, infant RAM socket, and that RN. So where are we? RAMs. What? This F240 here. Yeah, I mean, I'll resolder it. Or do you think the chip might be rogered? This one here. This is the one you're talking about. The one at the front. And there doesn't appear to be any problem with the solder joints. But do you think... yes. Oh, you know, I've tried every single ROM I possibly have here. I've tried 3 different ROMs. Yeah, okay. This one, I mean, this one had a busted component on it, though. I mean, this one might have been mistreated in transit. Yeah, the solder looks fine. I'll hit it again, though. I mean, what about these resistor nets? You reckon? I don't know. I don't know. I'll just run the solder past it. Heating up. Waiting for a bip. I mean, these joints look fine. There really does not appear to be a problem at all. But I'm just soldering again. Because why not? Do. Different behavior this time. So this time we got the Rominator chime, then we got like a crackly sound, and then we got CMAC on the screen. So yeah, it's behaving differently again. It's doing consistency. It's done it 2 times in a row, but this time I didn't get any sort of SADMAC chime, but I'm definitely getting CMAC. And it's messy as well. It's not your normal clean CMAC. It's got some kind of artifacts on it. So you can see these little artifacts going on there. And, you know, as I've said before, the one thing we do have to remember is that just yesterday, I was booting this into System 7, System 7.0. Had an operating system there, loading it from a floppy MU, I might add, because I couldn't get it to boot from SCSI. But I was able to boot from a floppy MU into System 7.0, and when I did that, I was able to access a SCSI drive connected to it. So I have had this working. I mean, it didn't work 100%. It had problems. I get that. But, you know, the fact that we have gone from that to this, I don't know. Off with the Rominator again. Back onto the stock ROM. And there's something I'm missing. And I can't think of it for the moment. I probably need to spend some more time concentrating. One last thing before I give up for tonight. With it on, pull one RAM at a time forward to see if the red LED start flashing, but change camera so you can see. Okay, cool. There we go. So switching it on, normal ROM. Okay. pull each one forward. 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 Then we try and push all 4 forward. I'll switch it off and on again, and I'll try and pull all 4 forward at the one time, which is not going to be easy, but we'll try. A sad Mac chime there. Craziness, craziness. Doing things and the stream is still going. Yes, I'm going to be wrapping up now, though. I have been going for 3 hours. I am exhausted, and I've got other things to do. And this thing is driving me bonkers. So just a little quick recap there for you, Jay. So this is the SE30 that I built, that I had sort of working yesterday, but with a couple of problems, and I have not been able to get it to work again. This is one where I actually found a cracked capacitor on it, which I replaced. Could have been the cause of some problems, but not necessarily the cause of all the problems. And yeah, I mean, we can get it to do all sorts of things, but very rarely can I get it to do anything consistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes it chimes, sometimes it doesn't chime. Sometimes it's sad Mac chimes, sometimes it's sad Mac's chimes for the B bank of RAM. Shish, fnuff. I mean, it's, I don't know. So, anyhow. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give up. I'll probably do a little bit of testing myself, just fiddling around here, just silent contemplation rather than talking the whole time, and who knows, I might find it. It's very, very disappointing. I really thought I'd be able to get this chime happening. You know, I'd be able to at least get it to where I was yesterday. I thought, oh, look, I'm going to be able to show everyone that I'm able to boot into the floppy. Can't even get to that stage anymore. Isn't that bizarre? 3 steps forward, 2 back. So, yeah. It is clearly possessed. I mean, talk about bloody, you know, was it, what are those ones that was that Sean had? Yeah, this one is definitely possessed. All right, well, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I apologise that I didn't necessarily do what I said I was going to do, you know, but what I will do is I'll order those capacitors in for the 2FX RAM, and then I'll do another build video at a later date. But in the meantime, who knows, I might actually get this happening. And I do have an SE30 board that needs recapping as well, floating around somewhere. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for keeping the chat lively and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, and thank you for tuning in. As I do apologise for the fact that we haven't had a lot of progress. We had some good wins in the last live stream, no real wins in this one, so that's a little bit of a shame. But anyhow, I'll save them up for next time. So have a good time, and I hope to see you at the next one. So bye-bye.